Hello, everybody, and welcome back to another edition of my Grue Rume Show. For my Grue Rume Show, I got a very awesome guest. He's an actor, and he was in one of my favorite horror movies of all time, Pumpkinhead. And we're going to talk to him all about his film roles, his voice roles. It's going to be fun, and I can't wait to interview Brian. I am Rocco Cross. I am the host at Stutters. I am the host of the Grue Rume Show, and my interview will be coming up very soon. This is my Grue Rume, and as always, my gruelings. Welcome to my nightmare. All right, buddy. Welcome to Grue, and thank you so much for being my guest today. I
Thanks.
appreciate it.
Yeah, man. Thanks for having me. Thanks for your patience getting all this going. I really appreciate it. I really appreciate you having me on. It's great to meet you finally.
Thank you. Same.
Yeah.
Definitely. Yes. So
I love your smile, man. You make me
thank
happy.
you.
I'm wrapping up my day, and this is a perfect way to wrap up my day. So thank you.
Oh, thank you so much.
Yeah.
So I guess like the first question I'm gonna start out asking basically is typical question is what drew you to want to act? Like when did your passion start for acting?
Yeah, man. Basically, probably in high school. Before high school, I was in the Cub Scouts, and then in the Boy
Oh yeah.
Scouts. Yeah, and I won a couple of public speaking awards, in the Boy Scouts, going out to fundraisers and things like that. I was this little 13-year-old curly haired type making speeches, in front of all the scoutmasters and the executives and everything. And I
Oh
was really
wow.
good at it. Yeah, I was good at speaking to groups, communicating with groups. And then in high school, I got involved in the theater department, the bad kids smoking out back in high school. That was my tribe. And it was the same kind of thing, being on stage and communicating with an audience. I felt something about those lights in my eyes and just getting lost in a character and being able to really grab a room full of people and you
Mhm.
know what I mean? And really like go with them on that journey. I loved it. And then I went to Pepperdine on a full theater scholarship, and that's what took me to Los Angeles from North Carolina. That's where I discovered that comedy was really my thing, believe it or not. And I ended up opening a sketch comedy theater when I moved back to Atlanta, but that's ahead of
Oh
myself.
wow.
So when I was in LA in college, that's when I started getting into film and TV. I did my very first play for Pepperdine, and there was an agent in the audience. Actually, it wasn't the agent; it was the receptionist at the Gage Group. And she came backstage and she said, "I'd love to bring you in and get my bosses to meet you." I'm like, "Really?" So don't ever slight the receptionist, man. They have all the power and they know everybody. So she got
True,
me an
true.
appointment with Gage Group, and I went in and auditioned for them. And within a year, I had signed with my first agent. And one of the first auditions they got me was Pumpkinhead. And
Oh
I
my God,
I
really?
auditioned, yeah, and I get the call back with Stan in a mini mall in Reseda. And at that time, I didn't know who Stan was, but I just went, I did the thing, I related to that character and just like did my work, and I got the job. And I never forget when I booked the job, the agent called me into his office. I do forget his name, but I'll never forget what he looked like. And he goes, "Oh, well, it's a horror kid, son. Everybody's got to do one." And I was like, "Have you read it? Like, it's really good. And it's Stan Winston. Do you know who he is?" I didn't say all that, obviously, because I was just like shaking.
Yeah, of course.
But yeah, so then that's kind of what started my film and TV career, was being out there for college. So yeah, but it was high school. The short answer to your question, when you find your group and your tribe and the people
Yeah.
that you finally fit in with, and something that you feel like you're good at. So
Now, Pumpkinhead is one of my favorite horror movies like ever. Like I
really,
absolutely love that movie.
oh, right on.
I love the first two. After the second one, it kind of went eh.
Yeah,
But like the first two were amazing. Like I like the first one, of course, is the best one. But y- I, I mean, when you're reading the script for this role, and you
yeah.
know the character that you're going to play, and your character basically sets the string of events for
Yeah.
Pumpkinhead,
Oh, you do know the
and
movie. That's cool, man. I appreciate that.
yeah. And what were your thoughts when you're reading this? Like, like you're reading how you're basically the one who sets this chain reaction off.
I don't even know if I really realized that, in the moment. Because when you audition, they just give you scenes, right? So I didn't
Yeah.
have the whole script until after I got the role. Yeah, I had two scenes when I was actually auditioning. I had shit, I can't even remember now. I know one of them. One of them was the scene in the church where I take
Okay, yeah.
Jeff East and Cynthia Bain to the church. I'm like, you almost done something bad if Pumpkinhead's after you. And that was the scene that we auditioned with and got the callback for. And I just thought, first of all, the dialogue was easy. It was really well written. And if the script is well written, it's easier for an actor, to bring it to life.
The light went out in my room for some
Oh,
reason.
something happened. You completely disappeared.
I'm
Whoa, that's freaky, man. That's like those scary videos where people pop out on the screen.
Oh man, I can't get
Oh
the
my
light
God.
back on.
Do you need to call the power company, Rocco?
Oh my God, like the light is not going back on for some reason.
Oh, I
I
wonder if
don't.
you're having a blackout or a brownout or something. I see you, but you're like popping in like the
Let me,
nun.
wait, I'm gonna pause this for 1 second. Let me
Sure, man.
move to another. Okay, sorry about that.
Wow, that
But
was
no,
really, it was like a
as you
brownout. Yeah. Don't worry, man. It's
you were in the middle of talking about the movie
Oh
and
yeah, yeah.
and
The
and your
scene, the
thoughts
scene that
on the
I
script and
right. I'd
stuff.
read a couple of scenes, but basically, like I was saying, the dialogue was really good. It was when something's well written, it's easy for an actor to get it in your mouth, and to really good writing does a lot of the work for you. I mean, it really does. When writing's bad, it's actually really difficult, not just to make it sound natural, but to connect to the character. And I was from North Carolina, and I knew this. I knew where it took place, and I knew the whole kind of backstory. So I played it like a lot of the kids I grew up with in Western North Carolina. The accent came naturally. He's a brat, a precocious kid. And when I finally got the full script, it was really clear to me how fully fleshed out all the characters in the movie are.
Hmm.
And Stan was an actor's director. Like the words were on the page, but he wanted you to bring something to it. He would encourage us to improvise and to play and to come up with ideas. And not all directors are like that. Like in the very beginning of the movie, when you first see my character with all my brothers and sisters, including Blossom, which still freaks me out to this day. Um, there's a moment when I walk up to Cynthia Bain with the ball when she says, "Stop it, you're scaring him," and like jump scare her. That was my idea. And Stan was really
Oh,
good
get it,
to that.
really?
Yeah, yeah. And we had shot the scene the day before, actually. It's funny, Rocco, and that was the first feature film I'd done. And I went home that night to my apartment. I felt terrible. I felt like I'd done terribly. I was totally insecure. I thought, oh man, I suck so bad. And the reason for thinking of the jump scare moment was because I wanted to redo the scene. That's no lie. And I got there the next day and I must have had huge cojones because I walked up to Stan. I'm like, hey, look, I know we already shot this scene, but we're still here. And I have an idea. And I told him the idea and he loved it. And he goes, we're reshooting the scene. I'm like, oh fuck, I better bring it now, right?
Yeah, I know.
But that moment, like he encouraged those moments, and that moment when he scares her, it set the tone for me, for his whole character for the rest of the movie. It
Hmm.
was just cool. It was a really cool first film. It's one of the best films I've ever worked on. I mainly do voice acting now, and I've got, thank God, a really strong career in that. And I'll still do films from time to time. But that film remains one of the best experiences I've ever had. I've had great experiences, and maybe it stands out because it's my first. But Stan was such an amazing human being. I mean, he had us all over to his house to rehearse the film before we ever shot it. He really encouraged us all to be creative and to bring the characters to life. And I saw the movie for the first time with an audience in 35 years about a year ago. Because I've seen
Wait,
it on
really?
I see it on TV and I watch it with friends or whatever and watch it at festivals or like scene talkbacks at like the horror cons and things. But last year, Orbit DVD in Asheville brought me up to Asheville, North Carolina to screen it. And I hadn't seen it with an audience since it came out in the theaters, right? Because it went
Okay,
on to
okay.
video and cable. And I was watching it with about 150 people, and it was really amazing how it stands up. Like
Oh, it does.
all these years. Yeah, it was really cool. Like people are screaming in the same place. They're crying when the kid dies. And I'm like, God, I mean, it is a good movie. I can say objectively that Stans was a great filmmaker. It stands up. It wasn't your traditional slasher movie, which I think is
Exactly.
why it kind of got lost when it first came out. It wasn't like a Fred
Hmm.
Jason. But people love it, man. I mean, it stood the test of time and it fills my heart to no end with joy that people actually know it. And can you imagine as an actor that, anything that you've done, people actually like have watched it again and again and
Yeah.
they can quote it. And anyway, so that's cool. I got a million stories about Pumpkinhead. So but it's
Oh
very,
my God, I
very dear
love
to
it.
my heart, obviously, you know.
And, and like, what did you love most about like doing the film? And was there any scene that you like most?
Oh yeah, that's a tough one. Yeah, I have a favorite scene. I do. It's probably not what anybody would think, but it's the scene is when I'm in my bedroom with all my brothers and sisters, and we're all sleeping in the same room. And Devin Odessa, who's supposed to be my 12-year-old sister, but who's I'm sorry, but she's like stacked and just like she it was like she's the most lovely, beautiful girl. And I tell her that I'm going out to find it, and she goes, "You better not. Grandpa will whip you good if he finds out." You know that scene. And I crawl out the window. That was one of my favorite scenes because Devin and I had so much fun together. We really felt like brother and sister. We made up the whole now spit thing and all that stuff, you know,
Oh yeah.
to do the pinky swear and all that. And that was just really fun to shoot. And also by that point in the movie, I really had hit my groove. Like I understood,
Okay.
okay, I'm doing a good job.
Hmm.
Stan let you know when you did well. He wasn't one of those directors who just walked away. He's like, yes, you got it. And you felt good. So for me as an actor, when I feel good, and unfortunately you don't always get this, but when I feel good, I do better, or I feel like I do better. That's not always the case because I've done some films with directors that are just very by the book and business, and I don't feel as good about it. But then I look back
Yeah.
at the performance and I still did my job, you know. But that scene, you know, I had hit my stride in the movie. We were rolling. We were out at the Newhall Ranch, which is where they filmed Little House on the Prairie. Did you know
Oh,
that?
okay.
Yeah.
No,
So all
I
those
didn't know
cabins.
that.
Yep. So all those cabins were the cabins from the Little House on the Prairie set, all of them. And they were built so that like one wall would completely come off so that the camera could like, you know, film the interior. Yeah, and I can't remember whose cabin that was. That's supposed to be Grandpa Wallace's cabin, but I don't remember who in Little House of the Prairie it was. But the cabin that we do the finale in, Ed Harley's cabin, where the barn is and everything, that's Mr. Olson's cabin. If anybody out there is old enough to remember Little House on the Prairie, dude, but Mr. Olson adopted Albert, and anyway, that was cool. That was cool. And we were on location for so much of that that it's so funny. My memory is getting so bad as I get older, but I remember every single moment on that set. And another cast member will
Oh
say,
my God.
remember how they had that cooler full of Jolt Cola that kept us up all night? And I'll be like, oh
Jolt
my God,
Cola. I
yes, I
remember
can
that.
like, I know, right? I can see the Jolt Cola. And my second favorite scene is with Tom Woodruff in the closet when Pumpkinhead finds me hiding in the closet in the house.
Hmm.
Yeah.
Hmm.
Because that was that scene, my back is the camera and you're seeing Pumpkinhead like here and you just see the back of my face and it's just a quick minute moment when he turns in and finds me. Well, if you look very closely at that scene, you actually can see the eye holes. You can see Tom Woodruff's eye holes in the neck of Pumpkinhead. Pumpkinhead's head sat on top of his head like a hat, right? So Tom's face is actually in the neck of the creature. And the other thing about
Oh
that scene,
wow.
yeah, is the wall of the closet came out. And so it opened to the outside. And I'm sitting with my back to camera, and the camera is outside the cabin, right? Like looking this way at Pumpkinhead. And it was so late at night talking about Joe Cola. It was like 3 o'clock in the morning. We were shooting that scene and or some ungodly hour. And because we did night shoots. So we would show up
Yeah,
to
yeah.
set at like 6 o'clock at night in the evening and we'd shoot until 6 a.m. the next day.
Ooh.
It was like 3 o'clock in the morning and he's supposed to turn in and I'm supposed to be screaming and something happened on that take and we both start giggling and just laughing hysterically and the whole crew is laughing. Now there's no sound, right? The sound is all laid in after. So it looks like I'm screaming my head off. But if you look very, very closely, you'll see that my lips are just slightly turned up and we're just laughing. And Tom's shaking a little bit in the suit because we're giggling
Oh
so
my
hard.
God.
That's a favorite moment. That stood out for 35 years. I've remembered that. And sorry, I got to tell you, one of the shows I'm doing this year is Scarefest in Lexington,
Yeah.
Kentucky. That's the weekend of October
Oh,
7th.
what kind?
Oh, I can't say. They haven't announced him yet. Never mind. Sorry. Shit. Anyway, they're going to have a bunch of cool folks from Pumpkinhead that I haven't seen in years and years. So I'm very excited to kind of go and experience that.
Nice.
I can't say anything else. You probably have deduced, and I'm going to get my ass kicked if
Well, no,
agent
yeah,
is.
exactly. I know.
Yeah, but maybe by the time you air this, they'll have announced him, and you'll see who it is, and then it won't be a big secret. Oh well, we do our best, don't we? But
Right?
well,
Exactly.
it's going to be fun, and that's one fun thing about doing the conventions is like I got to do one with Lance. I got to see him for the first time in a long time, and it was like no time had passed at all. So,
Awesome.
and it's funny because he said the same thing, and I think it's because of Stan. But that movie, I mean, look at all the movies he's done. I mean, come on, he's Lance Henriksen. We were on a break outside we did a Scarefest show together. We're on a break outside. They give us a little break, and I was talking to him, catching up, and he goes, "Man, can you believe all the people in my line?" I'm like, "Dude, you're Lance Henriksen. Come on."
Well, yeah,
Like
exactly.
he doesn't even like he's so humble and he's such a sweet person and that's how he was on the set too, you know. But he even said that Pumpkinhead stands out to him, like it meant a lot to him, the process
Hmm.
of making the movie. And I think it all goes back to Stan Winston. He just was that guy, you know, that brought everybody together. Everybody loved him. He didn't love directing, and he was pretty vocal about that. He liked directing a lot, but he didn't necessarily. I don't think he liked dealing with the network, the studio people, the suits,
Yeah,
the
exactly.
executives. And I've worked on the executive level. I know we have a job to do, and sometimes there are creative clashes. But I remember either he told me or somebody told me that he said directing gave him a spastic colon, and he really didn't want to do it anymore. So right, so he directed Pumpkinhead, and like one more. No, was it? I always mix it up. It wasn't Monster Squad. I can't remember. He did the monsters for Monster Squad, but he did one more after Pumpkinhead, and I think that's all he directed. And then he
Oh,
went
wow.
to just creature creation, which of course he was the king of creature creation. You know, he won an Oscar for Aliens, and then they gave him Pumpkinhead. So
Dang.
that was funny too. I had the callback with him, and back then I was 20 when we shot the movie. I look like I'm 16, but I was actually 20, almost 21 when we shot the movie. And I remember I did the audition for him, the callback for him with that scene at the church, you know, where I tell him,
Yeah,
"Oh,
yeah, yeah.
I'm bad." And I was home then I got the part. And right after I got the part, the Academy Awards were on. And right across, I'm watching with my 7 roommates in Canoga Park, you know, and Stan walks across the stage to get an Oscar. And I'm like, holy fuck. And I call my mom. And I said, Mom, are you watching the Oscars? She's like, yeah. I said, that guy that just took the special effects award for Aliens, that's the guy. I'm going to do a movie with that guy. And she's like, oh, well, that's nice, honey. Well, then flash forward many years later. In fact, just a couple of weeks ago, my mom passed away about 7 years ago this year. And I got some letters that she had written to her sister. And there is one where she writes to her sister that she called me Mr. Hollywood back then, am about to do a movie with a man who just won an Academy Award. And we watched him get his award on screen. And Brian called me and told me that's who he was about to do this movie with. So we're very excited. Can you believe that?
I know.
Right. And it's the letter sitting right here in this cupboard that my cousin gave me that were letters my mom wrote to her mom.
Oh, wow.
So that was, I never would have known, but that was a meaningful moment for her. Like she was really proud, you know? And that's just funny. It's funny how life works, you know? Anyway, all those good memories of Pumpkinhead. There's nothing
Yeah.
but it's really true. And I've done a lot of movies since, and
Well, yeah.
there, you know, some movies that you have good or bad experiences on. I don't have any negative feelings, experiences. All the fans that I meet, I love every single fan that I meet of this movie. It's insane the connection that they have to the movie. Um, And I'm really grateful for that. I never in a million, I mean, I'm a working actor. And what I mean by that is I hustle every day. I had 14 voiceover auditions this morning. I'm hitting the pavement every day, you know, as part of what I do. Um, and to have that gift of being able to go and meet people that love something that you've done and want to talk about it and connect, it's overwhelming in the best possible way. You know what I mean? So
Oh,
anyway.
yeah, definitely.
It's bananas, man. It's a lot of fun. I hope I get to see you out at a con, man. I'd love to meet you in person.
Oh my God, yeah.
Yeah.
And with the movie with Pumpkin, like I love the costume, like the creation of Pumpkinhead, the costume. They actually start selling like action figures of Pumpkinhead, and I got one.
Oh, good. Well, bring it to me. I'll sign it for you for free for having me on your podcast. If you find me at a con, man. Or I'll send you a picture, man, whatever you want. Oh, listen to me. That sounds so vain. You send me a picture, Rocco. Send me a Grue Rume poster with your signature on.
Okay.
Put it in my office.
Right
Yeah,
down
the
there.
costume's great, isn't it? I mean, that's one thing too. The effects are practical effects, right? Because there wasn't
Hmm.
CGI, there weren't computer effects back then. So when we're
Exactly.
acting with Pumpkinhead, Pumpkinhead is actually there. Tom is in the suit, hung by wires
Yes.
like a marionette. He's articulating that suit and he's moving. And I have some great behind the scenes stuff of him, like with his his feet were actually in the monster's knees, right?
Oh
And
my
then
God.
yeah, and then the leg of the monster continues on down. So he couldn't really walk in it. He had to be hung by aircraft cable like a big marionette, and he would manipulate it like a puppeteer inside of a big puppet. So when he is actually walking, you don't actually see from his knees down. He's on a big
Oh,
platform that's about 5 feet off the ground, walking in his Nikes, and his Nikes are at the monster's knees, right? I shouldn't be giving away all these secrets. I'm spoiling it all. I have some great pictures of Tom just like in with his Nikes at the knees, we called it.
oh my God, that's great.
He's a great guy. He was such a nice guy. I've never forgotten him. And anyway, he's a really nice guy. If you ever get to meet him, he's and super accomplished. I mean, he and Al
Yeah,
have
definitely.
their effects company now. I think they did the creature for Smile, and
Oh,
they
get it up.
yeah, they took off. They really did. I think after Stan died, they started their own thing and they have their own special effects company now. Of course, they learned to understand. And on the movie, Alec Gillis and Tom were Stan's right hand guys, right? Tom was in the suit, but he was also a creature effects designer. Alec was a
Oh,
creature effects designer and puppeteer. So just the practicality of those effects was really cool, right? And they had six heads that sat in the makeup chamber because as the movie progresses, the monster progressively starts to look more and more like Lance, right?
exactly.
Yeah, a lot of
Exactly.
people don't catch that the first time they watch it. Well, the six heads are fully created, crafted, mechanically articulated heads that sort of look more and more like Lance as you go along. I think there were six of them. I remember walking into the makeup trailer and seeing them all like lined up on the counter, and I was like, it was really neat, super fun, really creative.
Oh, damn, that is so awesome.
I'm glad you're a fan of the movie, man. As you can
Definitely.
see, I will talk about it forever and ever. So you got to just say, "Hey, shut up! I got another question."
Well, you're also like another horror film that was pretty cool was you're in a Christmas slasher, Silent Night 5, and
Yeah.
you're the killer in it. So, was there what do you think was like the best like death scene or whatever in Silent Night 5?
Mine, for sure. I mean, come on, what am I gonna say, dude? I like the scene where the couple died. That guy, I can't remember his name. He was so nice, and the blonde when they're trying to make out, and Derek's toys kill them. And there's one scene where the chomper is coming right at the girl, but they don't go there, obviously. But mine for sure. I always say that is my Joan Collins, Betty Davis performance. It's so over the top and it's so campy, but I like it. I really like it. It's a lot of times pass between. And I remember my inspiration for that was definitely, I remember Edward Scissorhands had just come out and I was
Yeah,
thinking
yeah,
about
yeah.
Johnny. Yeah. And I remember when I auditioned for the role, I actually put a broom down my shirt and down my jeans so that I would just have this kind of stiff
Really?
walk, but not totally robotic. Yeah. So I had a broomstick sticking out of my head. It was the dumbest
Oh
thing.
my God.
But I really got into it. And that was the first role I ever did where I actually sat on set and journaled as Pino. Like I actually wrote, it was the weirdest. I haven't done it since, man. And I'd never done it up to then. But it was so important to me to just really stay in that character for the entire movie.
Mhm.
Well, I watched that recently at a screening too last year,
Oh,
right? And I
sweet.
thought, hey, this is pretty cool. I mean, it's campy and whatever. And,
Oh,
and
yeah,
you,
of course.
yeah, you either love it or you hate it. But I actually really like my performance in it. It's just over the top, but it's believable. So when
Hmm.
Jane puts the screwdriver in my head, And that whole sequence at the very end, when I take my face off and put my face back on, and then
Yes.
that he just wants his mommy or whatever. It's just so stupid. It's so fun, man. We had so much fun making that movie. And that
Oh,
was Brian
wow.
Yuzna, who produced it, who also
Hmm.
directed me in Society. And
Oh,
Brian
yeah.
wasn't the director on Silent Night 5, Martin Catrosa was, but Brian had a really heavy hand in it. He was a creative producer. And you can
Mhm.
see, you can see his influence on that movie. If you really look, you can tell that Yuzna's got a spoon in that soup, so to speak. Especially that last scene. I remember him being on set for that last scene and really being in control of it. I mean, Martin was the director, and the director is the number one person. But Brian had a lot
Yeah.
to say about the performance and just, what we were doing. And he just kind of helped me get there. He was always a big advocate, and we are still friends. We talk once in a while. And I'm really hopeful he gets back out there and directs another film. I think he's kind of retiring from it, but
Oh,
he produced something recently that was very similar to Society. It was another Lovecraft thing. It was on for a hot minute and then it kind of disappeared. But anyway, he's still out there. He's still doing his thing. So I'm hoping one day we can find a way to work together again.
I have to pause this for one more minute because
Sure.
I have to, at work. I have to punch out real quick and I'll be back in like 2 minutes.
No problem, Rocco. Go ahead.
Okay. Okay. Yeah. Yeah. Like we were just talking about, Silent Night, and around Christmas time, like me being the big horror fan that I am, like I have to watch like a whole bunch of Christmas slashers, and my mom's always like, "Can we ever watch like a wholesome Christmas movie?" And I'm like, "No, I watch like all the Silent Night films,
Oh, great.
and like a whole bunch of other like Christmas slashers, and there's so many now. Like
Yeah,
I
there's lots
watch
now.
them like the whole entire month of Christmas, and
Yeah.
I usually do that for Halloween too, and now I do it for Christmas as well. And
There you go. That's great. I have another friend who does the same thing. He like counts them down starting on December 1st, and you can watch all the way up to the holidays. You can watch a different Christmas
oh my
theme
God,
movie.
like Christmas horror is just as
Isn't
big
that great?
as Halloween horror films. Like
Oh, for
they
sure.
made just as many.
For sure. Some promoters have talked about doing at a con having all the killers from all five of the Silent Night movies like there. I think that'd be great. It hasn't happened yet, though. I don't know. People talk
That
about
would
it a
be
lot.
awesome.
That'd be cool. Yeah, it'd be fun. I've never met those other guys, but I love being able to say that I actually got to play a killer
Oh
in
yeah,
that franchise. I think that's super cool.
I know
Maybe
exactly.
it's like so opposite of who I am, but it's just really kind of fun. That was a fun one because it was so fantastical. I mean, I get to play. I don't want to spoil it for anybody, but you've seen the movie, so I get to play this.
Yeah,
Horse Society was the same way, getting to
yeah.
play this monster, this inhuman thing that's been on the earth for as long as humanity has. What a weird movie that was, but I love it. We were
That was a weird movie.
It's great. It's great. Now it's another one. You either love it or you hate it. We were at FrankenCon a couple of weeks ago in Knoxville, and they did scene breakdowns with me. And they said, we're just going to show three scenes from three of your movies, and you're going to talk about them with somebody. So I went in like not knowing what I figured the movies would be Pumpkinhead, Society, and Silent Night 5. I figured those would be the movies because those are the ones that really like people know if you're hardcore horror. And they were, but
Yes.
I didn't know which scenes. Well, it was so funny, Rocco. At the very beginning, the interviewer, who was really awesome, I can't remember his name now, but that's a blur. But the interviewer said to the audience, "How many of you have seen Pumpkinhead?" And like most people raised their hand, like maybe three quarters. I'm like, what? And then he said, "How many of you have seen Silent Night 5?" And like about half raised their hands. And then he goes, "How many of you have seen Society?" The whole audience raised their hands. So that group,
Oh
it
my
just
God.
depends on the group, right? I was like, wow. So when we got to that scene, they were going nuts, and I hadn't seen that scene in a long time. And I get why people have two reactions to that movie, one of two. They're either like, yeah, or what the like, and I get it now because I remember the scene that we anyway. So that's cool. I never expected that one to being the consciousness. But a lot of people, anyway, what a weird movie that one is.
That was a really weird movie.
Yeah. But it's fun to play the non-human, even though in that movie you
Yes,
think everybody's human. You don't know what's going on in that movie, right? But those are
exactly.
really fun characters to play, to get to play an otherworldly or an alien or a monster or a killer. Like those are just really fun roles. And they're against my type. Like if you look at what my type is, it's that, the college professor that everybody likes, or the caring dad. Back then, it was like the guy next door, the nerdy kid or whatever. So to cast me in
Hmm.
these kind of extreme roles, I think it was kind of interesting and fun.
Oh yeah.
And the only place I would ever get to play roles like that would be horror.
Yes, definitely,
Yeah,
definitely. Like you can always do something fun in like the horror world.
always, yeah, because the mainstream, I'm going to be this or that. Like you're going to fit into this typical category. But horror and fantasy and sci-fi is one of my favorite genres. But the horror genre is so creative, and I
It
get
is.
these new scripts now, these young up and coming filmmakers, and like you can do anything. I mean, the audience will go with you if you do it well and do it right. They'll suspend their disbelief and they'll go with you. So
Oh, of
that's
course.
what makes our genre so much fun, you know.
I,
And I
I
think it's
mean,
why people
I
like it so much.
yes. Like I always say because I go to like a bunch of horror conventions and I always say like horror fans are like the most loyal fan base out of anything.
You
Like
said
oh my God,
it.
it's
It's unbelievable.
incredible like how loyal the horror fans are. And then when you tell people like you're going to a horror con, they look at you like you're nuts because they think like you're going to be around all these crazy people. But
Exactly.
like they're like the nicest ones. Like
It's nuts. They're the nicest people. I was at Scarefest. I keep mentioning Scarefest, but this was a couple of years ago, and I was at the bar the night before the show, and there was a lady there from Kentucky who wasn't there for the convention, and we got in a conversation at the bar, me and her husband, and she found out what I was there for, and she goes, "What is that like? What are those people like?" I'm like, "Oh man, they are the sweetest, nicest people. You would just never even know." You wouldn't know. Maybe they're wearing black. Maybe they're wearing a Nightmare on Elm Street t-shirt. But these are the nicest people. She was just so curious about what those people are like. I said, well, they're the best people in the world. They really are. It
definitely.
is like a family. It's like
Oh
a
yeah, for sure.
so that's been fun to discover in my later years, as an actor, to be able to go to those things and experience, that family-dom that is the fandom.
Hmm.
You know what I mean? Especially
Oh,
shows like FrankenCon. If you haven't been to FrankenCon, they're doing their fifth anniversary next year. I've been there every single year, and I will go every time they ask. It doesn't even matter that I've been there a
oh
million
really?
times. Who cares? They are the nicest people, and that show is a smaller show, but it's got such a great vibe, and it's such a fun weekend. So that's
Oh
Knoxville, Tennessee. I think it's going to be in June next year. Anyway, FrankenCon, check it out, Rocco. Like if you get a chance, it's absolutely worth it.
yeah.
Yeah, and they had Dee
Well,
Wallace, they
I
had
think it's in.
Berryman, they had Joe Bob Briggs,
Wait,
they had Danny from Cujo and Dee there together.
yeah,
They,
yeah,
they
yeah.
had a good little like guest list. And I'm there, and I'm always
Nice.
there. So people are like, "Hey, man," I'm like, "Hey, good to see you again." But I go because
Is
I
it?
would go every time. If I made a dime, if I made $1,000, if I made $10,000, it
Yeah.
wouldn't matter to me at all with that show. And I feel the same way about Scarefest too. It's like
Okay.
it's about the family of the fans, you know?
Definitely,
Yeah.
definitely.
So anyway, that's how I,
Isn't like the wrestler Kane the mayor of Knoxville?
yeah, I think so. That's a crazy city, man. There's some crazy cities in Tennessee. There really are, especially like the mountain towns.
Yeah.
I did Smoky Mountain Terror last year, and that was a great show too. And that's in Kingsport, Tennessee, I think, almost in Virginia, I think,
Okay.
way up north. But that was a beautiful little town. Oh my God. I have a friend who actually lives there now, believe it or not, and like we met up for dinner, and it's just this pastoral mountain, beautiful, idyllic little town. And those guys were so nice too at Smoky Mountain, and that's turned into a pretty big show actually. Smoky
Oh
Mountain Terror.
wow.
Yeah, yeah. Anyway, weird little towns in Tennessee, man. Would you ever think?
Yeah, I know. It seems like
Yeah,
it.
yeah.
And then like what made you want to like go from like being in front of the camera to voice acting, voice roles?
Yeah, I moved to Atlanta back from Los Angeles to be kind of closer to my family. I'd been there several years, and I actually had a musical group, and we moved here to play the Olympics in '96, and we did. We moved here, we played the Olympics, and I got to spend more time with my great aunt since I was back this way, and she was really the love of my life. I mean, in another life, we were brother and sister. We were connected like in a level beyond this life, and still are, I believe. And I got to be with her when she passed, and I read to her by her bedside from one of her favorite books. And my old cousin
Hmm.
Shelby, this was in Cameron, North Carolina, and my old cousin Shelby was in the room at the time when I was reading to Aunt Edith. And she goes, Brian, you have such a nice voice. You ought to do something with that. And I'm like, well, I am an actor and I was a singer and but I'd never really heard of voice acting as a thing. But I got really curious,
Exactly.
you know. I came back to Atlanta. I took an intro workshop with this coach named Paul Armbruster, and I fell in love with it. Using your voice, it doesn't matter what you look like. Now we can work from anywhere, and I do. I work with LA and New York clients
Hmm.
all the time, right here from my booth. Um, I just loved what it was as a creative form of communication, the creativity of it, and without seeing, just being able to make people feel something just using your voice. And
Yeah.
I got into it right off the bat. I had a lot of success early on with some big commercial campaigns. I got some agents working for me. I did some video games, and I've worked steadily. And I thank God every day because it's a freelance lifestyle, right? I mean, you never know where your next
Hmm.
job is coming from. I just did a big job that basically set me up. We're cool this year, right? It was one of those.
Oh, okay.
Those are rare, by the way, but yay, thank you. I got one. Thank you, God. Um, but I've made a living at it now for 23 years.
That's awesome.
Yeah. And I still do a movie once in a while. I have this philosophy because my dad taught me this, that if an opportunity comes your way or you're asked to audition for something, you walk through that door. You don't turn it down. You educate yourself 100% about everything you're trying to do, and then you walk through every door that opens. It may not be for you, but you walk through the door. You don't let fear stop you,
Hmm.
right? So as a result of that, I've done like a movie every year, every couple of years. I did a TV series for Ray McKinnon for Sundance Channel, and I enjoy it. I like it, but voice acting is my thing. It's my
Okay.
everyday routine. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
I teach a voice acting workshop at atlantavoiceoverstudio.com. And I love what it is, and it's sort of defined who I am as an actor, and I've had success in it, so sustained success. So I just keep on going. Yeah, and who
I
knows?
like it.
Yeah, yeah, I really do. I do. And I like teaching people about it because everybody thinks it's animation and video games, and you have to have this amazing voice or whatever. And you don't, and it's not about voiceover, voice acting isn't about having an amazing voice. It's about
Hmm.
learning to do amazing things with your voice. And there's so much more than animation and video games. The commercial world, the narration world, the audiobook world, that's really 70, 75% of what's out there. So diversifying, learning what you can do. I have a lot of range. I was a sketch comedy actor. I can do different voices, and I can
Okay.
make
Okay.
it sound different, but you don't have to be a successful voice actor. Most of the work that I do is just in my speaking voice that you're hearing right now, right?
Oh,
So
okay.
yeah, so it's fun teaching people about it and helping them get into the business. I really enjoy it. I like teaching a lot. Yeah, and I don't know. Yeah, I actually just did a movie last year because of the horror convention circuit with a guy named
Of
Dave
course.
Parr called Slasher Nurse, and then I did another one with Matt Cloud called Coffin Tooth, and they're both about to come out. I had so much fun. I got to go to the premiere of Slasher Nurse with Felissa Rose, who's in it too, and
From
Dark.
Sleepaway Camp.
Yeah, and it's great. What can I tell you? It's so well done and it's so much fun. And I love the role I got to play. I love the script. So you never know.
Nice.
I might do more of that kind of thing now that, there's this whole thing.
Yeah,
Yeah.
exactly.
Yeah, why not? Right? I
Of
enjoy
course.
it. I'm at a point in my life where I've matured enough to understand that it's about the work, it's about the craft.
Mhm.
That's really all it's about, getting the opportunity to do that, you know? And I also know how to do it now. I think when I was a young actor, I didn't really know how. You have to learn it over time, or you have to study constantly, but learn what
Yeah.
works for you and what is it to perform a role. It's more than just learning and saying lines, but what is that process for you, you know? And I think now that I understand that and know that, I enjoy it more. I don't care if I get something or not, you know? I mean, there are some auditions where I'm like, "Ooh, I hope I get it," but I kind of let it go right away. You have to, as an actor, you have no control over that. All you can do is your absolute best in that moment. And the rest of casting is so out of your control, man. And I know because I've also worked at casting and I've seen how decisions are made. And it's a million things that have nothing to do with the actor, you know?
Oh,
Oh my God. So learning all that puts a different spin on it for me. And so I'm having more fun with it. So I'll probably end up doing more on camera stuff as the years go on. And now I'm older too. So there's less competition because a lot of people don't stick it out this long, dude. They just don't, man. They take their ball and go home or they retire or whatever. And I'm like, I'm still having fun. So,
yeah, exactly.
yeah. But that's what I like about voice acting. And that's how I got into it. And I just started down that path. And I always say, I just
Okay.
never looked back, you know? And
Uh,
it's hard. You have to love it. You have to love what you do in the creative arts. That's the first thing I tell people. You have to love it. There's so much disappointment. And I've had years as a voice actor where I've made bank. And then I've had years where I haven't, or I've made like
oh,
a normal salary or not, or a subpar salary. Like, when you do make money, you got to put it away. You got to make hay while the sun shines, my dad used to say, right? And you got to be smart with your
sure,
money. And
sure, sure.
you can be on top of the world and like making all this money or let's say it this way, booking all these jobs. And then there might be a year where your voice is not necessarily in fashion, right? And you're auditioning all the time and not booking. And then you coach and you reinvent yourself and you figure out, well, what is trending now? What's going on? And what do I fit now? Um,
Mhm.
blah, blah. I could talk about that forever too, as you can tell.
And and for someone who's been in classic horror films, are there any horror movies that you like watching?
hmm John Carpenter's Halloween. That's my Pumpkinhead for some people. For some people, that's the movie that I saw when I was 12 years old in a cabin
Yeah.
in the woods at a lodge,
Oh,
mountains by myself in the office of that lodge on a black and white TV while my mom and grandma were asleep in the cabin. I snuck down there and saw it on like at 11:30 at night, and it's a core memory, right? It's a core memory. So I got to meet
yeah.
the guy who actually plays Michael Myers in that movie at Scarefest. I'll say it again, and he was just the nicest guy in the world. And I got to say
Oh,
to
okay.
him, "Hey, you did something that shaped my life, and like is a core memory for me. And it's so great to meet you." Nick Castle, is that who I'm thinking of? I'm so bad with name.
Nick Castle, yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah,
yeah.
yeah. He's the
What?
one who played Michael Myers, the Shape.
Yeah, in the first one.
Yeah.
And maybe the second one too. But he was so nice, and he was so gobsmacked. He was just so humbled. Like I think we just can't believe people just can't believe that it's that meaningful. But like for me, that's a core memory. And then I would watch movies. I'd watch Halloween every Halloween with my friends in the
Mhm.
basement, while mom and dad were upstairs, and it's just a core memory. And we still, at my house on Halloween, this is going to sound really vain, but we loop two movies just over and over, back to back, all
Okay.
Halloween day. Uh, Pumpkinhead. We just have it
Nice.
on this is
Throw
playing
that
in the
in there.
background, right? And the original Halloween.
Nice.
And
Nice.
at New Jersey HorrorCon, I got to meet Nancy Loomis, who plays, Lindsay, that girl.
Yes.
God, I
Yes.
forgot the character's name. Oh, I'll think of it later. And I was gobsmacked to meet her. I'm like, you shaped my childhood. We walk around the house going, Lindsay, I'm stuck in the laundry room
Yes.
again.
Yes.
And here I'm getting to talk to her. And she was really sweet too. I don't know if she appreciated that I go, Lindsay. I don't know if she appreciated that or not. I'm not sure. But I hope she took it in the spirit that it was meant because it's just they're iconic people. It's just
Oh, yeah, of course.
they don't think they are, and it just blows their minds, I guess. But because she teaches now, I think out in Pasadena.
Oh, wow. Okay.
Yeah. I think so. We had a little conversation there. So that's probably the one. I mean, I saw all the Nightmare on Elm Street movies in the theater
Yeah.
when they came out. I saw the original Friday the 13th with Kevin Bacon in the theater when it came out. And I remember watching those movies in the theater, which was great when I was a kid. But John Carpenter's Halloween is probably the one that shaped my horror tastes and my
I
experience.
love
And
it.
it's a fantastic movie.
It
It's
is
it's still
perfect.
a fantastic movie.
It is
You
definitely.
know, I can watch it over and over and over again on Halloween Day and just enjoy every single moment of it, you know? Have it on while we're carving the pumpkin and ooh,
Definitely,
right?
yes. Yes,
It's fun.
definitely, definitely.
That's a good question, Marco. That's a good question. Yeah.
And what would be your go-to karaoke song if you were gonna do one?
Science fiction double feature from the Rocky Horror Picture Show. There. Are you surprised that I had an answer that quickly?
Yes, I was very surprised how fast you answered that.
Yeah,
Yes.
that's the one. That's the one. I love karaoke, but that would be my go-to. That's another core memory.
Okay.
So it's fun to be able to get up on stage and sing that song as Riff Raff. I sing it in
Yeah.
O'Brien's voice. Yeah, which is
Oh
really
my
fun.
God, yeah.
It's good. I do a good science fiction double feature, I must say.
All
I
right,
ain't
okay.
say, I ain't gonna do it. Don't ask me. You have to come see me at a show, and I'll do it at Scarioke.
Yes, definitely, definitely, yeah.
Oh man.
And I guess like the last thing I'll ask you is basically if there's anything you want to plug that's coming up and where could fans follow you at?
Yeah, yeah. Well, find Slasher Nurse. Just search Slasher Nurse and watch that movie. Support Dave Carr and those independent filmmakers and Coffin Tooth. That's Matt Cloud. These indie filmmakers are really working hard and making great stuff. That's kind of the next generation of what's coming up. I would say that. And then check out, I will be at Scarefest in Lexington, Kentucky, the weekend this year of October 17th. They've got a great guest lineup. And if you haven't experienced that show, it's off the chain. It's got a really cool like family vibe, but it's huge and so much fun. And they do all kinds of fun events and podcasts and things. Danielle Harris is going to be there with Scout, doing their podcast live. They line up a lot of fun stuff. And they have some other Pumpkinhead people that they're trying to get to, which would be a lot of fun. And then the last thing is, we haven't confirmed this yet, but there is a house in North Carolina called the Myers House. Have you heard of this? It's this guy, Ken, and
Okay.
he lives in an exact replica of Michael Myers' house from the original Halloween. And he's trying to put
Oh
together
my
on
God.
it's really cool. On Halloween Day, Friday, October 31st, he is trying to put together a Pumpkinhead screening and get me out there for that. So just keep your eyes on that. If you're interested in
No.
that, just search Myers House on online and you'll find his website and everything, and you'll be able to see when those announcements are up. We're just trying to confirm my availability for that day and then, work out the logistics, but that'd be a lot of fun. And then there's some other shows too
Oh
that
my
aren't confirmed yet, but just, people can follow me at B Jordan Bremer on Instagram. And anytime I'm doing a show, I go and I post the hell out of it. I promote it on Instagram. So obviously,
God.
why
Well,
would you?
yeah, yeah, of course, because you have to have the fans come out.
Yeah, yeah. People gotta know. Ah, people gotta know. Well, thank you,
Of
Rocco.
course.
You're delightful, man. I really hope we get to meet in person. I'm sure we will.
I know.
Yeah, I'm sure we will.
Well, I mean, I'm always at these horror cons, so I'm definitely sure I'll be seeing you at one of them.
Definitely, definitely. It was great to meet you, and thank you for asking me to be a part of this. I'm really grateful.
Thank you. Thank you. It was very good meeting you and chatting. Like, this has been so much fun.
Yeah,
Thanks.
it's been a
Thanks
lot
so
of
much for
fun.
doing it.
Thank you. It made my day. I appreciate it, buddy. We'll talk real soon, okay?
Definitely, man.
Have a great evening and reach out anything you need. Just reach out, okay?
Thank you.
All right. Great to meet you, bud. I'll talk to you soon.
Okay.